What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to part 3 of this TRX4M build as we put the electronics in and get this thing drivable. I think we can do it today. We'll see how smoothly that goes. So this little brushless system I found online is incredibly cheap, and it looks okay. Let's get it bolted in and find out if it is actually any good. So this is the risk we take when we plan like an ultra budget build, but this should just, I mean, in theory, slip right into there. Now I think to install these, you actually need to pull this gearbox apart. But one of the things I like about this build is, look, here is the receiver, right? And we can do gearboxes and lights and all that sort of stuff. And here's the ESC, and together they might just fit. Look at that, they both fit on the tray together like that. So managing our wires and whatnot, that's what's going to make this really interesting. So yeah, let's so that's going to be like there. So we'll be using some like double-sided tape or something to hold that in place. And yeah, so the next thing would be like, I do like to sort of mock these things up before I start, you know, plugging stuff in and whatnot, because you can run into this situation. Look, this, okay, so this little connector here with the JR and a little, I forgot what these are called. It'll come to me later. That connects into here, okay? So that's your controller that will receive the signal and send it to the ESC, which will then send it to the motor. But then we also have, it just comes with a bunch of connectors. So we found the one that works for us, this one. These ones are spare. And look, that looks like a fair RC connector, that's interesting. Let's see how this goes together. Okay, so I have just mocked all this up. So we can see, so I've got the battery. It's connected through this connection in here. This connection here in the middle near the on-off switch connects to our receiver in channel 2. And then this plug here connects to our little motor. And we put this comes with our fly sky. You put it in bind in here while the system is off. And then the first step is on your remote, you have this remote off, you hold bind and turn it on, and it'll say bind on it. And then you turn on your receiver and your remote will say link okay, and it's set up. Then you turn everything off, you take this bind key out, and it's set up, it's ready to go. And I can show you, look, I've got this on. Let's hold this very carefully like this. And I just apply a little throttle, and Bob's your uncle, here you go. Nice little motor, okay. Fantastic. All right, now it's time to turn this all off and set it up. Okay, so for the battery tray here, it looks like it's just about the right size for our battery. Possibly put a little bit bigger one in, but 800 milliamp on one of these little things, that'll last a long time. It comes with a little strap. So that, I believe that goes here which is a beautiful little spot for it to go. And then our electronics can go up here, and Bob's your uncle. So step one, before we do any of this stuff, let's unplug everything. Big one. Don't forget your mounting screws. We are gonna quickly find out what screw. Well, once we get this thing open, we'll be able to find out. Okay, so just let that pull away. So we've got this here. So the next step will be to take these screws out. That will have to come off, unfortunately. I forgot about that. Take this off. So I will use these tweezers. Pop that one out. Pull that one out. Okay, so there we have it there. And then this motor will need to line up. The holes somehow. Okay, so these ones are wider and they match up with that. But before that, I have to put the pinion on. Put the pinion on. And this feels. Okay, we're able to get in there just by putting it in and putting a lot of pressure on there. Quite a lot. It hurt my hands a lot. But that is as far as I could get it, and that is actually about perfect once we install it. So I've gone ahead and I've put one screw in here already. And I'm just considering, so when you install it, you've got the option to have the wire going off to the, it will feed in nicely. Right side. Yeah, I want it to go down. I can get extenders. I can extend the cable, but I don't want it to go up. I want it to go down away from let's go around here. So, let's screw in. Let's screw into them. There we go. Make sure it does go in. You know, it goes into the motor. Okay, that one's gone in. We're going to get this one all lined up. Now, before I get that lined up, this allows a little bit of movement, and I want to use that movement to put this gear in. So I'm going to use my tweezers. I'm going to drop this in here. Okay, now I can just see that settle a bit nicely. Okay, so I'm going to get my next screw. I've resorted to using tweezers here because this is just the amount of finickiness has just gone bonkers. So there we go. Okay, so that's installed. I spin the engine and that seems to spin that gear nicely. So now I feel confident putting this gear back in. And you know what? It's that sits there and it's sort of, I think it'll be all right. I think there's enough grease in there. I think there is enough grease in there. Okay, now I can put this all back together again. So all right, so just a little bit of wiggling and that went all back together again. Okay, so we remember we're going to use this hole, and this hole down here, and not put anything in here so that it goes back into our... It's for the drive shaft, that one. And this little wire here, so we can sort of somehow maybe zip tie it like this, and I'm sure with the extension, I believe it plugs into here, right? So it would be having it set up like this. Oh, this is perfect, and I'll show you why. Okay, so when it's set up like this little on-off switch is right here, which when this shell is on, it'll be just in here. It's just like a finger's away. Like you can just turn it on and off from there. This is fantastic. So, now, but the biggest problem is we need to be able to tape this down. So I need some double-sided tape. Okay, so that is all in order. Now, the next step would be to install this battery tray right here. And that way we'll know where we stand in terms of all our wiring. So we can do some zip ties. So the next step would be to find the hardware for that one. So it does look like it's a little close to the drive shaft, but we'll see how that pans out. Maybe after the test run we can come back and review that. I'm sure this little strap's not going to wear the drive shaft out, but the drive shaft may rub on the strap enough to wear that out. However, these things are a few cents per 100 or whatever, so it's not a big deal. Okay, look at this. This is so exciting because I think having it face that way is better. And even if you wanted to, every time you strap it in, put like the extra cables underneath here, like this, to sort of stop them going awry. And then this can connect into here. Alright, this will be connected to here. Alright, we got everything on, battery on. This is on. This is not connected correctly, that's why none of it's working. Alright, and we have power on the remote on. Look at that. It's alive. Doesn't have a steering servo yet, but it doesn't need it. No steering crawling. It's ready to go right up. Okay, so this little servo arrived and it is slightly, ever so slightly too big. So we're going to have to grind down this here to make it fit. So that took a bit of grinding down. I'm not sure why that didn't fit straight out, but I think we can get the rest of it by just fastening it down. Thanks for watching this episode. In the next episode, we are going to test drive this car, so please stick around, like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out the links in the description.